Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Dudes, One Car. Except today we have someone in the hot seat, which in this case, it's the soft seat. And that is Eddie X, baby.
That is a soft looking seat.
It's very soft.
It is very... Hey, thank you so much for coming, man. How are you?
having me. Good. Nice to see you guys again.
How are you, Parker?
I'm good. I didn't know we could fit 3 dudes in the car. But
Yes, we can. At some point, we got to buy like a van or something because I love seeing those comments where people are like, they're not in a car.
Yeah, where's the car?
Wow.
This is actually just a big RV.
Exactly.
That
it
would
is
be
a-
crazy.
it is a car,
But,
so-
dude, where's my car?
Yeah, like Will Smith, he's got like the capabilities of funding himself like that type of RV. Did you ever see the Will Smith RV that he had in New York that expanded? And
No.
what? You guys are too young. That's why I feel so old. So Will Smith had a trailer. And by the way, he made people like productions pay for renting his own trailer to bring it. So when he was filming in New York, he was filming Hitch and then I Am Legend. I used to live there. And he had this incredible trailer that just looked like a normal trailer. And then it would open up electrically like this. And then he would develop another floor up. It was nuts. At that time, he paid $3 million, which now is like $1 billion.
Oh my gosh, for an RV?
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, it was unbelievable. And he made every production write a check for his RV. So he basically got it for free. But that's what's brilliant
No
about
way.
it.
Literally
Yeah.
last night, I was going to my friend's house and I passed this mega RV. I'm like, whoa, that's the fanciest RV I've ever seen. And he told me that I guess Adam Sandler is in town filming. So he like rented or bought this house and he parked an RV that looks like the Bugatti of RVs in front of it.
Yeah. People in Texas
be a thing.
Dude, people in Texas love RVs. Like when I was selling my house, there was more than 2 people that came in and were like, "Can we park an RV outside?" I was like, "The house is nice enough, sir. You don't need to park your RV here." And so it's not an RV, it's towed behind a semi, what you're saying for Adam Sandler?
No, his
Will
was
Smith
basically a
was an
semi RV.
No, it was a semi? Oh, you're totally right. Sergio's absolutely
I
right.
have never seen one like that before.
But that's nuts, dude.
You've seen the one that has the garage where the car goes
Yes.
underneath?
Yeah.
It pulls out like a LaFerrari.
It is pretty elegant. I want RV money. Because RV money is like you have extra money to have another living space
Oh,
that you can take
100%.
to different
Did
places.
you get a mortgage on those? You
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I think so.
30-year mortgage,
But
yeah.
that's the best thing to buy used. I mean, you talk about depreciation. It's
Oh,
crazy.
I can't even imagine.
Elon could take notes from that, actually, on how to ruin the car's values. Just study RVs. Imagine the one where it has the garage. Imagine it jams and your LaFerrari is just stuck inside your RV.
halfway out.
No, I would cry. I would cry.
You have to call the police to sawzall your RV or your LaFerrari out.
And the battery dies while you're putting it out because it stayed there for 3 days. So
Exactly.
you didn't plug it in. It's done. Excellent. So let's start today. I have a few topics I want to talk to you guys about. Want to get your takes on this. I'm hot and bothered by all of it. And I want to start, yes, with Apple ditching their electric car. They don't want to do it anymore. And today everybody found out when Apple emailed everyone, like their 2,000 employees dedicated to this, and they let them know, hey guys, we're not doing this anymore.
That's a
Number
crazy
one,
email.
what's the reaction? What were you expecting from Apple? And I throw this to anyone who wants to jump in first.
I feel like it made sense for them to step into the car world.
Why?
Just their design language seems like it fits with the electric car.
Yes.
I don't know why it is. It's just clean, it's modern, and I feel like they could kill it with branding. It's like no different than any other electric car, really, but and it can have technology that's much worse than Android, but because it's got that Apple branding, people would buy it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Or
there's
they
a
could
value to it.
Or they could get into the shipping space and sell cars to Amazon or have autonomous vehicles for Uber or something. It actually shocks me that they're not doing it.
Okay, so this is what I have. Let me put this in front of you guys. There is a company that's doing the same thing that Apple is doing right now. I want to take it even further. I want to push it. Apple sells software and hardware. They're incredible at doing both, and the synergy between both devices, like between both concepts, is incredible, right? When you put it together and package it,
Their
when
ecosystem is the best.
it's
Yeah.
incredible. So when you look at an iPhone and the OS, it's like a perfect marriage, right? That's why Apple doesn't allow third parties to install their software. They want to have full control of the whole experience because they want to have they love that. It's like a signature thing that Steve Jobs left on the company, and I think it stayed forever. Now, they've been a maker of hardware and software for many, many years. Is there any other brand new company that does that right now? in the car space to you guys?
Hardware and software?
Yeah.
I mean, Tesla.
My friend, Tesla right here. Remember that Apple, Elon Musk was trying to get Apple to buy Tesla at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, dude. And Apple was like, no,
Not
thank
interested.
you. And they were
Yeah,
valued
big
like
mistake.
they were valued at like $70 billion.
Oh, man.
So I'd say that's a mega big mistake,
100%,
right? By
yeah.
Apple. I also think Apple has hit a wall, and you'll see where I'm going with this. I think Apple has hit a wall. They were innovating. They had like the iPod, and even though they were not first to market, they were best to market.
Yep.
And being best to market is not easy. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's more important to be best to market than first to market.
Weren't they first to market with the iPhone?
No.
Or no?
No, dude, there
No?
was already other
BlackBerry
things that were touchscreens
Palm
and
Pilot
whatnot.
and a bunch
Okay,
of other
alright,
stuff.
Yeah,
alright.
there was many. There was a Sony Ericsson that you could pull out like the keyboard, and it was like a full touchscreen thing, and it had colors and.
So
and
they
whatnot.
weren't the first to eliminate the keyboard?
No.
Okay.
Not like that. Not
Okay,
like
gotcha.
that. But they were the first ones to really give you a QWERTY experience, which is like that keyboard that BlackBerry had that made him so famous that people loved.
But on a screen.
They were the first ones to put it on a screen and actually made it work. Because it was hard before, like, with the inputs that you're giving it, because your thumbs can be too big, too short, too thick, whatever the hell they are.
I had a little Windows phone that had a little stylus for the full keyboard.
That's what
it
I'm
was so bad.
But that's what I'm saying. And these guys really got it right with
Yeah.
with your movements and
Did
everything.
you have that in college? I vaguely remember you having that. Yeah, I'm like, what is this thing, dude?
Was it the Sony Ericsson, like the blue one?
No, it was I forgot what it was. Some sort of Windows, literally Windows Mobile.
Hmm?
Like it had a little start menu in the corner. You could pop it up and everything. It's like a miniature laptop. Like
What did
this
you
big.
use that for? That was your actual phone?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
forgot about
texting
that.
and apps or whatever. Yeah.
Listen, we're all
Green,
the-
green texter, green
No,
texter.
no. When we're young, we don't know what we're gonna need, right? So you buy like the best of whatever you think you're gonna need. It's like, this is gonna help me to be productive. You're just making phone calls, Eddie, and still, he was like, no, I really.
No,
need
I got a
this.
stylus.
Mom, I really need this at 16. Trust me, it's gonna help me with school stuff. No, it's not. Either way. So Apple was the first one to do that, and that's like the type of company that they are. The iPad was not the first time they did a tablet with anything. Like even BlackBerry had one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was miserably bad. And Apple just comes out and does like incredible hardware, software integration, and their product is so simple, so stylish, and their ecosystem, like you said, that they
Yeah.
built is incredible. So for years, we've seen them do the iPod, revolutionary, the iPhone, revolutionary. Even the iPad, I'll say, revolutionary in its own way, because before the Microsoft tablet wasn't good, the Android tablets weren't okay. So Apple did it first the right way.
I've never been an iPad guy.
Me either. I've tried.
Have
I have
any
like
of us
30.
effectively used an iPad to be
Only
more
to
productive?
watch YouTube and Netflix.
Okay.
But that's
That's
it.
it. That's it. It's literally
Yeah.
just a bigger entertainment screen. Yep,
No doubt.
That's it.
I completely agree with you guys. And then they started getting into software. The laptops became really good, and
Yeah.
people started buying the laptops because they were way better than the Microsoft product that they had at the time. So Apple really built, and the Apple TV. Apple TV is
Apple
another
TV is
big
pretty
one,
good.
right? So they started innovating, creating this ecosystem of things, and they became the biggest company in the world. And now Microsoft is, but for a long time they were the biggest company in the world. They had a chance to buy Tesla. They wanted to get into the electric car market. They were like, we're all in, but we're going to develop our own stuff. And remember that they had like that little prototype at
It
some
looked like
point.
a little mouse.
Yes, that they showed like in 2017, 2018, I think, or 2016 even. They showed this car that this was going to be the future of mobility, and no one was going to drive it. And we were all like freaked out that it had
Yeah.
no steering wheel, kind of. And we were
Yeah.
like, what is this? So Apple tries to do that. Dyson, another company that you wouldn't think about, try to do an electric car
I did
too.
not know that.
Are you
How good is the
serious?
suction on that car? Is that like it's a downforce pro?
Unparalleled.
By the
Like
way,
it's all about the downforce.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
That is.
But Dyson creates, like, for example,
got the
I have a
most
Dyson.
suction in
I have
the world.
a Dyson blow dryer and also the vacuums and all that stuff. But the blow dryer, dude, spent $600 on this thing.
How much hair do you have to blow dry?
Not enough.
More
Let
than
tell you
me.
this. Let me tell you, not enough. How about that? And it's $600. But when you touch the product, when you use it, you're like, this is why.
It's nice. It's premium.
Like
yeah.
it legitimately justifies
Yeah, they
it.
make
So
good
these
products.
companies that have had this experience building this
Yeah.
this thing go and try to make a car. Apple has ditched that program. Now, I want to bring your attention to Tesla. Tesla is a hardware and software company They have the software in their cars.
Yeah.
They have the autopilot. They're also an AI company, right? Like there's no doubt about it. They also have an ecosystem because you have your car,
Supercharger and
all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like
Home,
they,
solar.
Yeah.
they
Tesla.
basically go on the same thing. But Tesla, Elon is a guy that builds ecosystems at the same time that he does these things. Now, how hard would it be for Tesla to make a computer? Think about it. You already have the OS.
I think it's pretty
Well,
different.
Where does Tesla source their chips from? They don't manufacture those internally.
They
right?
make certain type of chips themselves, but
Yeah.
they can also buy other chips.
Yeah.
So I
Do
don't
they
think
use
it's
NVIDIA stuff?
I'm not getting into which one it is because I've no knowledge. Like for example, for all of their stuff, like their big computing for AI, they're using NVIDIA stuff. So right now you have a company in Tesla that has an OS, a huge amount of people buying their products, right? Because we're already getting into the millions with Tesla. So you have the user adoption, the fan base loyalty,
brand,
you have an ecosystem, the brand.
Yeah,
You
I
have-
changed my mind. Looking at the screen and how the UI works, they could make a really nice.
Wouldn't you say it's the best in the car market or
Yeah,
one of the best?
100%. I think so.
Easy? Would you say that, Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very mobile phone friendly. Like it's familiar.
So now
Yeah.
let me bring this up to you guys because at some point, remember when Twitter was like, we're gonna delete Apple was like, we're gonna delete the Twitter app from the App Store. You guys remember that? Okay, and Elon had to go see Tim Cook and whatnot. And I feel like Elon is playing a game with him. And this is complete speculation on my part. How hard would it be for Elon to just create a phone, right? A phone product. Think about like an
Aren't they?
iPhone, Tesla, and my guy has the satellites.
Yeah.
I
He's
think
got
they are.
Starlink and everything.
He's
his
got
own-
the rockets to put the satellites up. He's got the satellites. He pretty much has everything so he can just release a phone and kill it. And the same thing can be said about a laptop, my friends. He's got the greatest sound system in a car for a cheap car. There's no cheap car that sounds better than a Tesla. I'm sorry. The speakers on a Tesla, to my view, are incredible. If I'm saying something that's crazy, please jump at me and
No,
tell me
no,
that I'm
100%.
crazy.
I think they are making the phone. And now that I'm thinking about it, if they have the satellite network, they could even offer like either free Wi-Fi at all times everywhere with the laptop or like a small subscription fee.
That's right.
Yeah, Starlink is pretty dang
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
That's right. And also, he's putting satellites up right now to act like mini cell phone towers. And he's doing that for different applications, right? So, in a way, he's got a full network with a phone that he can just build and literally be uncancelable. Because if my guy builds a phone, he's got the mobile app that's going to process payments too, which is a bank, and a way to connect people that you don't have to use your phone because Elon famously just said, I'm ditching my phone number and I'm only going to be able to be reached out on my X account, right? So you're seeing all these things that are building up. The only company that can eat Apple's lunch today, in my view, is Tesla. They make hardware, they make software, they have an ecosystem, they have a big value brand, and they can do that. Apple couldn't do what Tesla did, but I think Tesla can do what Apple can do.
Do you think it would be under the Tesla brand or would he do another offshoot?
I see that. I don't care so much.
Because that's more so Elon than Tesla themselves.
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah.
But here's where I say I don't care about what the branding packages is. If it's part of the ecosystem,
I think it's got to have the Tesla brand.
I
That
would
gives it the
I would guess that
the
it has.
allure.
I would guess so. But it can also be a Starlink phone. But at the same time, you want to get rid of the conflict of interest of like you're being a monopoly of satellites providing service to your own network. So the easiest way to sell that is through Tesla and separating it from Starlink and letting Starlink be a service provider for Tesla.
I'm surprised there's no parent company like LVMH Group or Alphabet Group for Tesla.
Well, it's just Elon. This
It
is what
is, but
X-
I'm surprised
Elon
there's-
LLC.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. This is why X is so brilliant. And if you followed like the journey and the trajectory of X, you know that he was thinking about doing this for a long time for financial stuff. But at the same time, he's been talking about for a long time creating an X company that is holding everything together.
yeah.
Now, this is brilliant for one reason. I've many companies that can synergize with each other myself. And my biggest problem in those companies about synergizing with themselves is the partners on each, right? So they're like, dude, What do I get out of you selling like this on that and that with this and this with that and getting a benefit from this instead of that? People get crazy. But if you own all these companies that can synergize together, you can actually build a package that avoids conflict of interests for all of your companies. And I'm going to tell you why. You know that Tesla has the self-driving thing that's coming out, and they want to do the robot taxis, right? And they have a program where you want to buy a car, buy it. You want to lease the car, we want it back because we're going to do a robot taxi fleet so we can do mobility everywhere. So he's going to become public transportation in a way, if you want to look at it like that. Yeah. Right? So now he also made deals with Uber. He made deals with Hertz, with other companies where he's letting them be from Tesla directly, though. Yeah. Tesla directly is making these deals with these companies and saying, I'm going to sell you the cars and this is going to be your service. If Tesla offered that service themselves, and this is where it gets genius, if Tesla offered that service themselves, there would be a conflict of interest to what they're selling to their clients. But if X is the middle company, the middleman, and X can provide a service, an Uber-like service for you to pick up your car. If you have an X account, then that's your Uber, if you will. You can order a car, and that happens to be a Tesla, and they're outsourcing, right? In air quotes, thank you. They're outsourcing, hiring that car, getting that car from Tesla. There's no conflict of interest. That's a third-party company getting it done in the middle. I believe Tesla can take over Apple's lunch and make Apple irrelevant eventually in the future if they go through these processes. This is the first thing I want to bring up. What do you guys think?
Ooh. I think Apple's strength is beyond simply the hardware. It's still the ecosystem. And that's a lot of momentum to overcome. That is really, really hard. Like, could they do it? If they've really, really dedicated themselves to it, like Tesla and Elon. Man, I don't know. Now I'm kind of scared.
They did lose their...
I like this. You see, because the thing is, Apple tried doing what Tesla's doing. Yeah. And clearly they said, no, we can't do this. But Elon, I feel like it would be way easier for him to do what Apple does.
Well, they lost Steve Jobs. And Tesla still has Elon. In some regards, since Steve Jobs passed away, there hasn't been as much innovation. I mean, the Apple Vision Pro is a Quest 3, and everything's just kind of an iteration of what they already have, versus Elon's kind of reinventing the wheel in all these different ways. So that could be a major falling point. But I still think it's like one of those too big to fail companies. There
have been other companies that were
100%, but you're still an Android guy?
No, I have an iPhone.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Converted. I mean, you used to have an Android phone, a Windows
MacBook
computer,
Pro,
and I was going to ask why, but look at that.
Well, you're not getting the poor people's text message, the green one. Now you're into the club.
Bunch of elitists here.
I'm gonna get an Android just to send you messages in green.
By the way, I also have
Stops
an Android.
responding to my text. Like, well, Parker's cut off. Yeah,
ew, that's gross.
Disgusting.
I also have an Android phone. I have the Solana phone. So I use a little bit of both, but the ecosystem is everything to me, and that's the easiest thing because I can use it on my computer, I can use it on my TV, I can put it everywhere. But I legitimately think right now, looking at this, that Apple is in trouble and they need to make a move. And the reason why is this. One more time, just going back to the same point. Apple tried to do what Tesla did and they failed. Literally just now, they said, can't do it. Makes no sense.
I'm surprised because look at the CarPlay stuff. Did you see the latest CarPlay concept? Yeah. Where they wanted to take over the entire cluster. And I was a little scared of that. I'm like, I don't know if I trust my CarPlay to handle speed and everything.
But here's where I want to get. Okay, Apple, why the fuck am I giving you this? This is on my channel, so I can say fuck. Otherwise, Parker gives me the PG-13 treatment. I watch like the podcast with him, and every time I say retarded, it's like it disappears.
He gets a belief.
I get a little fade out. And yeah. By the way,
it was just some of my family was messaging me like, "Hey, it was like a little hard to watch."
By the way, I totally get it, and it's right. For your stuff is right. For my stuff is right. I can say retarded here, so I'm sorry, guys. This is an Alejandro podcast. Man. I can say the stuff that I want to say.
This is why I was
sorry,
bleeped.
Eddie. All right, I know.
I guess I could swear too. Then
I know you like it to keep. I know you like it to keep. You like to keep it PG-13, but this is the Alejandro show, and then afterwards we'll keep it PG-13.
Have you ever watched Eddie After Dark?
I've never seen
Well-
Eddie After Dark.
Eddie Triple X.
Oh, shit.
Oh man,
Holy shit.
I'm subscribing.
Talk about
People are going to be Googling that with no.
Oh, God.
They're not going to
Well,
see it. You
whatever-
need to start your OnlyFans before
By
this
the way,
drops.
whatever they find that's Eddie Triple X, Jesus Christ. Let's.
Yeah, sorry in advance.
Back on topic. Back on topic.
I'm gonna Google it. Either way, let's go get
Go
back.
incognito.
Let's get back on topic. So, all I'm saying, just getting back to this point, and this is gonna open the second part of this talk. Apple tried to do what Tesla did, and they failed. Officially failed. They said we can't do it. We're done with this project, right? They just announced it, so it's a reality. Whereas Tesla hasn't failed at creating it because maybe they haven't tried. Maybe it's not in the plan. Maybe we're just speculating here a little bit too much.
I feel like Apple didn't fully try, though. They didn't become a Fisker, launch a car, have it be buyable, and then have people go, this sucks, and then they went backwards. They kind of soft launched and then retracted it.
But I think Apple has come on, you can't. How dare you? Can I say something? Anyone that's watching this, how dare Parker put Fisker and Apple in the same league? Like, oh yeah, they're gonna go through the same process of something.
They both tried and failed. I don't know.
Well,
No,
no, that's
no.
a valid point because it's not hard to build an EV anymore. Or for a big company, it shouldn't be as hard. If Fisker can put together a vehicle, if VinFast can make a thing, how come Apple hasn't already done it?
But by the way, because Apple likes to have Apple has a certain, exactly. Let's go
Yeah.
with perfection.
Yeah.
Their standard of delivering a product is perfection. And right now, anyone outside of Tesla seems to not be getting perfection.
It's
I
probably
love-
like
You're the beta
Rolls-Royce.
tester as a customer.
Rolls-Royce not doing autopilot. They feel like they haven't reached the
Okay.
Rolls-Royce quality of self-driving.
So this
Call the
allows
chauffeur.
no for real. This allows me to go into it.
I wish.
Apple wants to take over your whole dash because they're smart. We can sell software, iOS or a Windows, if you will, for cars. Because the money is in packaging those deals and selling it to millions, right? That's where the money's at for any company. Anyone's wet dream, including mine, is to sell digital products.
How long till we get ads on our displays in our
Oh
car?
my god!
It's gonna
So
be-
you watch it before you
imagine?
can start.
You have to pay $10 a month to have an ad-free
By the
UI
way,
in your car.
it's going to be way sooner than you think. You
Right,
think that's a
already
joke?
Yeah, BMW wanted to charge subscription service for heated seats.
There you go.
It was like, oh, we can't afford the subscription. Here's the ad-based plan,
Yeah.
right?
Farshad and I used to make the joke that cars, you were gonna buy the Ferrari sound, and he was gonna make like the rum, 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 and all that stuff. Now it happens.
Yeah.
Now it's a reality. They're
Yeah.
like, I believe Dodge is saying that the new Charger
The Daytona
EV
thing, yeah.
is gonna have like you can buy that package.
You can buy, like, Borla has it. There's all these companies that have a speaker for the EVs. There was a booth across from mine at SEMA last year. I wanted to set it on fire the whole time.
Oh, see, I wanted
They're
to use it
sitting
for
there
a
revving
video.
it.
I was
Oh
like,
my
this
God, it
is the
was
stupidest thing. I'm
worst
going to put it on
thing.
my Tesla.
It's happened before. Like there used to be products you could plug in OBD and it would connect to your speakers and you could just like overlay like a Mercy V12 sound. It
done
would
that.
match up with your RPM.
So bad.
This is what I'm saying though. This is like all these things that sounded like jokes before.
Well, it's happening, yeah.
is happening
Yeah.
right now.
DLC for cars.
I believe the simulation is a comedy, by the way. Just in between this, let me throw some crazy at you guys because this
we're
is
getting
so funny.
conspiracy theories?
It is ridiculous. So we'll get to those later.
Just wait till after the podcast.
Just
Eddie.
wait till after
You
the-
have no idea.
Oh man.
None.
And I'm not kidding.
Eddie, you have no idea. No idea what's coming. So either way, I think Apple is trying to get themselves in every single dashboard out there. But what's their experience in the car market to be able to say, like, I want to give full control to Apple on this? When Tesla, you know for a fact, I know that car companies are going to take their time, and this takes a little bit of process because the people leading the car companies, as much as we like to think of them like heroes, they're just regular people.
They are just people, yep.
They're just people. They make mistakes. They lack vision and all that stuff. If they had an incredible vision, they'd be doing Tesla. But they're not, right? In regular car making tradition, we're talking about like traditional companies.
Yeah, the OEMs, GM.
The-
and,
exactly. All of those guys. So if those guys didn't see the electric car chargers and the network that Tesla built being a thing that they needed before launching their EVs, that shows you how little planning goes behind one of these. Come on. Come on.
Literally.
And now all of them are looking at Tesla and going like, well,
Can we please borrow yours?
Yeah.
Pretty please? Oh my God, yeah. Well, Electrify America was a punishment. So obviously
Yeah.
that's not going to work out well.
so
Yeah.
so you see,
Yeah, yeah.
Elon is giving you a real solution and actually opening the doors for other OEMs to go in and use all of his charging network, right? So who do you think, and this is a crazy question, is going to come out with the best autopilot in the market? Take a wild guess, please. Fisker.
Yeah, I would say
Tesla.
Yeah.
Because they
Skoda.
Skoda.
Probably. No, but I think it's going to be Tesla because they have the most miles. They've done it the longest. Also, Tesla is an AI company and a robotics company. They understand like data in a different level, right? So now you know that if it comes down to like which operating system are you going to use? Apple CarPlay for your car, or are you going to use Tesla so that you can also use autopilot?
I agree. I don't know if they want to give that to people. Although them giving access to the supercharger network is a really generous, interesting play. So it is possible.
But that's
that they
more
could...
utility based. Autopilot and that kind of data, that is way higher level, right?
I think
Yeah.
Chargers is that's a different plug, and
It's still. It feels like a donation, like a generosity
gesture.
play. Yeah.
Here we go.
Why? Maybe I don't understand it. What's the advantage to them to taking spots away from Tesla owners when they're trying to charge in a Hummer EV?
They're going to charge the crap out of those people like a gas station. This is just a gas station that they're putting together, and at some point it's going to turn on the button, and you're either going to have a subscription or you're going to have a subscription with charging limits, or you know what I mean?
Regular and premium. They got the
Son, come on.
matte black chargers. You're like, that guy's rich. He's charging on the matte black
also
charger.
makes the entire industry much more dependent on their existence.
And by the way, this is what it's gonna be. This is what everyone's failing, in my view, to understand. Because Apple was able to take 50% of the phone market around the world, literally doing this.
Is it that high?
It is. Oh, at least it used to be that high.
Okay.
Like 50%.
That sounds higher than I thought. Yeah.
No.
I thought Android was still the majority because there's so many legacy models. And
Because I don't understand
me.
why. And I used to be like deep into phones. Now, like again, to the year and all that stuff, I don't know the number. But Tesla has a gigantic, Apple has a gigantic majority of the operating system software that's out there. Watching YouTube videos and all that stuff, you can see it in your analytics. It's probably like between 30 and 40% of all the plays that you get is through an Apple device. And most likely mobile is that. So it's pretty high. Whereas before, and I'm older than you guys, when
he's reminded us of that like 3 times.
It's
I needed reminded, it's
like
authority.
respect your elders.
It's authority. Yes, my back hurts. I need assistance getting into my car. I remember when we were all saying, no one's ever going to take computers away from Microsoft. Microsoft's going to be the number one guy. Apple is like 1% of all computers. No one cares about what they're doing.
But aren't they still the king? I think they have majority share still.
They might have majority share, but Apple went from like 1% to the percentage that they got. Where no
and
one,
their new
where
like,
no one
silicon,
saw
the
it
fact
coming.
that they're doing their own chips and everything. Oh.
And now the thing is, when
you extra excited about that or something?
Yeah. Dude, I love my MacBook
Their
Pro.
own chips.
It's the best. All the Apple silicon.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, it is really the best.
So within the impossible, they were able to deliver something that really broke everyone's minds because no one thought that they were going to be able to take those numbers, take those users, and all that stuff. I think with Tesla, we're seeing the same thing. You're just seeing it in real time. So people are like, there's no way. There's all these obstacles. But the thing is, Tesla does make the most compelling argument when it comes to software to put it in your car. Why would I trust Apple that is not in cars, not aggregating this data, not going through an LM, right? It's not going through an AI LM learning process. It's not going through it. Apple is just like, oh, let me put your maps and your shit. Whereas Tesla is giving you all of this data and has been years and billions of driven miles by people and learning from it. So when you want to get the best data, when you're talking about an AI company in today's world and all of the data and how important that is, I think Tesla's leading by far. When I saw the supercharging stuff happen in 2012, I tried to go with a friend of mine in Mexico to get in Mexico a lot of the people that own gas stations to also add chargers. And every owner of a gas station was like, no, this is never going to work in this country. No, we don't want it. You know who did it? Tesla. And it worked.
I'm curious what your concern is about them doing the software, because like on a gas car, having speed and RPM is not complex data, and they can just make a good looking UI for the dash. I mean, there's never been a car company that's failed at like, oh shoot, Honda's speedo is off by 40% and their tachometer is completely wrong.
No, but it's not about that.
What's the fear of?
No. I think the biggest thing is when you want your car to be running on a software, I'm not talking about just the software as it runs today. I'm talking about as the software that it's going to run tomorrow. And that's what Elon is planning for, whereas Apple is not. Because on today's software, you want to get the Apple Play. Dude, fuck yeah. It's going to look great on my car. Just put the Apple display everywhere. Give it to me. But when it comes down to driving itself, efficiency, and being able to rent it out to other people, you know what I mean? As public transportation, my car, like I'm sitting here with you guys, and because I know I'm not going anywhere for 4 hours, I want my car to go out there and start working for me. Apple ain't going to do that. Tesla will. So I will want Tesla software in my car for that reason. It'll become more productive. It'll make me money. The car will pay for itself, maybe, right? Does that make sense?
What about Google? They have autonomous cars on their campus to get people around. They own YouTube, so they have the video and UI in that sense. What about Google making it?
Have you seen how the Google-based stuff GM is trying to use has
No,
gone?
I haven't.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay.
It's not good because they like for the latest gen GM stuff, they ditched Apple CarPlay. They're like, no Apple.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And let's just say the Blazer EV currently has a stop sale on it.
Oh, wow.
Dude, Google.
I've only done a stationary review of
by
that
the
one.
way-
I haven't driven it yet.
And then, by the way,
Maybe that's
go on
why.
Google, use Gemini, and tell Gemini to make you like whatever. And Gemini has so many problems, like their artificial intelligence branch. And I know a lot of people will say the artificial, and this is true, the artificial intelligence that we, the users, get from these companies is not like what they really have. They have way better. But let me say this. If Google can develop a beta product for everyone to test out at the level that ChatGPT can, being around for so long and having all that data, Google has no chance in this race. Google has been, this is a whole different conversation. Google is fucked in today's world, which I would have never thought that come
sure
the
hope
day.
not.
But I saw,
Otherwise, you won't be watching this podcast.
Yeah, what the hell?
in a different way.
Hey, let's
gonna watch
reframe this.
videos on
Google's
Bing
going to be
from
great,
now
please.
on.
Yeah.
In a different
exactly.
way. Don't worry, it's my channel.
Ask Jeeves. Guys, watch the podcast on Jeeves.
I just think Google is like not even competing in this at this stage in the whole thing. So like I said, I think Tesla has a better chance of being a dominant force in this space. But now, if Apple really wanted to compete right now, they might want to get the electric car right. They might want to get that extra user adoption. They might want to get those margins in. They clearly know that they don't know how to do it on their own. So they might need help. Do you guys think they'll absorb another company? And which one would it be?
I mean, we were talking about this before the podcast, and you said it first, and I think it makes all the sense in the world that Rivian, especially their design language, Rivian feels like Apple. And I could see them, it's simple, it's clean, it's cool. I could see them buying a Rivian. But that's not my
What about
idea.
you, Eddie?
I feel like it's still more likely for them to go with a supplier relationship because it's happening more and more. Look at Honda GM, right? On the Ultium platform, the Honda Prologue and the Acura, whatever that is, it's a GM underneath. Look at what Sony is doing with that.
The Afila?
The generic looking car. That's, I think, a Honda thing too.
Yeah,
whatever.
Honda, Sony.
Yeah, that to me, you were at CES. Did you see stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, there are companies doing that where they just license out the tech.
You need to go to CES.
I do.
I am the biggest proponent of coach building in the future, in the near future. I am. I understand that companies like Magna, which is the company that made the first Sony car, have a big shot in this world right now because we're going to get to a point where, in my view, 50% of the cars are going to be Teslas around the world just because they're so cheap, the volume numbers, and it's the way that economics work in this type of production. The more you build, the cheaper they get, right? And that allows you to enter markets like the $20,000 cars. That's where Tesla is going next, right? That's
the little one.
Rivian is exactly. So Rivian's finally getting into the Model 3, Model Y, but they still are going to have another gap into the cheapest of the cheap.
Yeah.
Whereas Tesla's already jumping on that and building their
What about remots with a VW group, Porsche, Bugatti backing with their batteries, their software, and electric motors. What if they became a supplier of a lower end?
I think they're
car company?
brilliant, but I don't think they have enough data to support it like Tesla, and I don't think they act as fast. I think Rivian, Rimac. I'm gonna call it Rimac. I don't give a.
Remote.
I've never said it Rimac before. Just
I'm
then.
sorry. I'm gonna say Rimac. I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry,
Don't
Parker.
apologize to me. Apologize to what's his name? Mate?
To Mate.
Yeah. Mate?
Mate's cool with it. He's not watching this, so he's cool with it.
Get an email from him. Hey, pronounce my name properly.
Hey,
please.
what
Yeah,
the fuck
really
are you
hated
saying?
that
Never
podcast.
driving a Navara.
Never. I think he's, by the way, been a supporter for the longest time. Ever since I saw the first car that he built, I was like, this guy is a genius. I knew that he would end up somewhere big. And now he's the CEO of Bugatti. And yeah,
Such a
it's
boss.
nuts.
Wild.
Such a boss.
Awesome all around. I just don't think Volkswagen as a company can be as agile as Tesla is.
No way.
And this is a problem that
Yeah,
big companies are going to have right now going towards the future, where Rimac, Porsche, Volkswagen, whoever you want to make it, they don't have this data, this aggregate of data that has gone for so long, and they don't have like these new things that Tesla is developing because they need to get approval per thing that they're doing.
They've got too much brand history and identity versus Tesla can be just so, boom, let's go this way, let's go that way. I think that limits a lot of car
Variable,
companies.
and this is going to be China, the Chinese
Yeah,
EV.
yeah.
I was just back there in January. Couldn't even recognize 90% of the cars on the road.
Yeah.
All
No
these
way.
domestic EV brands.
dude.
I'm like, I don't even know what company that's from. Not even like the model.
And do you know why there's so many of them and so different?
Government's funding.
Because there's one company behind called the United States, the Chinese government. Holy shit!
And he's like,
What?
that
I was like,
is
wow,
not correct.
That is factually inaccurate.
Holy crap! You can actually, there's going to be a community note on this part of the video that says absolutely not. Alejandro's a
incorrect
retard.
factual information.
Alejandro's a retard. In this podcast, he's good. Don't worry about it. So,
Eddie's like, don't laugh, don't
yeah,
laugh. It's
Eddie's like,
inappropriate.
please hold it in, hold it in, hold it in.
I don't want to be associated with
I
that.
can't.
I just think they have one big incentive provider, which is the Chinese government, that allows for these prices to reach everywhere.
Stupid low.
Now, can we buy BYDs in the United States?
Not yet.
Exactly. And
I think they're trying to build a plant in Mexico, which is going to be their entry into North America.
no, they're just going to keep it in Mexico. The United States has 100% no interest whatsoever in letting China.
Did the U.S. tell you that?
Can I tell you
I
something?
was talking to the U.S. and they were like,
Here.
yeah, we're not.
Hello, America.
Here, I actually have proof. Where's Huawei in the United States?
Fair enough.
In his pocket.
Yeah.
Where is it? Why? How come we don't have like their better 5G, their better 5G phones,
Yeah,
their better
all their
connectivity? Why don't
Fair.
we have that?
Government.
Because we don't want them to compete. Like, go ahead.
No. Finish your thought.
We don't want to compete with them.
Yeah.
The United States, and I'm not saying this is good or not. Now we're getting a little geopolitical, if you will. The United States lost that fight a long time ago. We decided, you know what? We can't compete. So what we're gonna do is attack. Sanctions. Forget about sanctions because we've put a lot of sanctions on China and in different products and in different fields. But also we're talking about taxes. Extra taxes for anything that comes from China. We're effectively trying to run them out of business from our business. And now we're going to Mexico, and I'm telling you, this is a Mexican fella. Nearshoring in Mexico is real. That means everyone's building all of the companies and all of the production that used to happen in China for the United States. They're building it in Mexico. And the Mexican peso is going up to the moon. The Mexican economy is growing like crazy along with inflation because we have so many new opportunities happening in Mexico. That economy is going to take a while to adjust. So we're trying to move that and just do it right here, down south.
But isn't
Right?
taxing all the companies that come into the U.S. very much the same play as China? Like
No.
if you import a car there, you're paying huge tax based
Well,
on the size of the engine and
You know China. Go ahead.
Do I know China?
Do you?
Wow.
You were in China. Hang on.
Yeah, I know all of China. Yeah.
Did you go to China? You were just telling me about like the cars that you
He
saw.
is Chinese.
Have you gone to
you
China?
imagine he's Japanese.
Have you
he's
gone
like,
to China?
No, I would
Me
like to
either.
though. I really would like to.
Who knows China better than us?
I was born in Missouri, dude.
I'm not saying anything other than you've gone to China, dude.
No, I do.
Fuck it. All right, that's it.
I'm out.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. No?
I do know all the domestic or U.S. based manufacturers are struggling in China. They're all down because they cannot compete anymore with the Chinese brands.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
they're just-
Because of taxes or
it's
user adoption or what?
And they've also installed like a lot of hate towards American products, haven't they?
I don't know as much about that, but I think it's just the incentives and the price point. They
Yeah.
just cannot compete anymore. That's why it's all been taken over by these Chinese brands.
Yeah. And just so you understand, we took the AI stuff from Taiwan, from Europe, and we brought it to the US with the inflation. Remember that we had like an inflation reduction plan that Biden signed? And in the inflation.
That's working great.
It's exactly. But what he did, and this is what it blew my mind when they signed that accord, is as Europe, you're letting all of the most important stuff that's happening right now in technology go to the United States and get incentives. So we effectively took away all of the industry from Europe. We're trying to take away Taiwan's industry and bring it to us. And China, we know we can't, we're competing against them. So we're just closing the border to that. So what we did was effectively create incentives for companies to come and build AI chips and also any other sort of chipset in the United States. And we're giving them billions over billions over billions of dollars so they can do that. So it's kind of like what China is doing with their incentive programs with these cars. It's the same thing, except it's direct from the government, directly to the brands, to the people. And here, I guess you can say it's the same thing because the incentives are the same. It's a government program. So we are, in fact, competing. Europe got destroyed, and right now, all of their countries, Germany, France, they're all experiencing recessions, and especially Germany, because their car industry is one of the biggest in the world. And they were just like, oh, we're going to follow whatever the American way is, and we're going to go with that. And we effectively took away everything from them. And now Europe is right now looking around and going like, what have we done? Like now China's got us and the United States got us, right? So you're seeing this is a real thing that's happening. So when it comes to this competition, there are clear winners and clear losers. We know the United States, we know that China want to keep 50% of the world, and the United States wants to keep the other 50% of the world and sell to everyone. And now Tesla is the only company in this whole mix that actually has their toes dipped into both markets in the new future, in the near future, with the new future and the new technology future going forward.
Have you heard about the new Antarctica car?
Is this a conspiracy theory?
You know what? That is a continent that I think is an untapped car manufacturer. They got all the space in the world. They got the cold weather testing. They got, conspiracy theories. Who knows what's going on underground?
We're not getting into Antarctica cars. We're not. My question,
Just
and
saying.
the only thing that I'm saying is, before I close this one, which was the longest thing that we've ever talked about, at least minutes-wise, I just want to close this by saying, I do think Apple will acquire a car maker, an EV car maker, because if they make that mistake and abandon this project alone, they're going to be in a lot of trouble with a company like Tesla that can produce hardware, AI, OS, and everything that you can possibly imagine in-house and have already an ecosystem built, loyal following, loyal branding, etc. Go ahead.
So what do you think we're going to see first? An Apple car or a Tesla phone?
Tesla phone.
Tesla phone, for sure? So you think Tesla's going to eat Apple's lunch?
I'm not entirely sure if he's going to do it through Tesla.
Okay.
Because I know that he'll want to use it through X, but at the same time, Tesla is just like the heart, like he's the manufacturing piece, and he's got all these gigafactories, which, by the way, there are empty portions of them, so they can expand production of whatever they want into the future, which allows me to believe that they're more capable of producing. While as right now, Apple depends on China and is moving to India right now, and they're doing their best to be able to consolidate that operation. Tesla can do it in Germany, can do it in Mexico, can do it in Australia.
I don't think either company needs to do either thing. I think it could, you know how when Elon first was the CEO of X and it was like he had too many eggs in all these different baskets and it made it difficult. I think them going into phones and Apple going into cars, I think they're spreading themselves too thin and they're going to lose their identity on their main core product.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you last time. What was Amazon started for?
Yeah, but it's still a simple concept.
All these
right
companies,
now.
all these companies.
Well, I guess they have grocery stores and stuff.
AWS is like their biggest revenue.
Yeah, true. All right.
This is what I see. And
I'll
Eddie,
leave.
also, Amazon's about to start selling cars on their platform.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are. So they're going to become a dealership
They
too.
got houses now.
Amazon.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is what I'm saying,
And
son.
they are affordable and cool.
So this is what
Genuinely.
How many car garage?
No garage yet that I've seen. But I've seen some things in the 30 to 60K range where I don't know what it costs to plumbing and land and installation, but I'm like, whoa,
That is pretty crazy.
what am I doing with my
So
life? I need one of these.
When you're looking at these companies, these gigantic companies overtaking on every single branch of the market that they can take, every single segment that they can, you're telling me that Apple and Tesla are not going to fight each other to dominate the digital world and the operating world for everyday use of everything? Is this what you guys are telling me? Because I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think Apple has taken a commanding enough lead of their home segment yet. Against
I agree.
Samsung,
I agree.
Against
they still have a lot of users to acquire from their own companies.
Whereas
they're working on.
Tesla is, I think, by far leading the EV space already, right?
Yeah.
Like you got, like I would wait for Apple to get to that same equivalent level, and I don't think they ever will, just because it's too mature. It is way too mature of an industry versus EV is still pretty brand new and expanding very, very.
It's a baby, yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So you're in kind of two different levels there.
And I think Apple's too high end. They'd have to do a Model 3 with tax incentives version of an iPhone that doesn't start at $800-900 to capture more of a
But this
market
is what I'm
share.
saying. Rivian is not going for the cheapest. Rivian, and I talked to RJ, the way that they want to see it is like when you're wearing Patagonia stuff, like no one knows what it is, but you know it's high end just by looking at it. And if you know the brand, then you know what it is and how much it costs. That's literally Rivian's model. And Apple goes by the same, dies by the same sword, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
This is why, to me, the greatest, and by the way, I can't explain why Rivian, mentally, I can't explain why Rivian's stock price has dropped the way that it dropped right now. Based on how many cars they've sold, based on how much cash they have, it's just ignorant stuff that people say like, oh, they're running out of cash by next month. Like, that's not true. They have like $9.5 billion in cash. The company's worth $10 billion, which makes no sense. So they're worth whatever their cash is. Yeah, there's a burn going forward, but there's also revenue coming back in. So you cannot account for that as is. And
It was it not a good thing? We hit that bottom pretty good.
Hey.
Hey.
That's right. That's right. Because this is what we do, baby.
Stock tips.
But
Yeah. Do not take advice from me. I will lose you everything.
SEC, do not watch this.
it doesn't seem like you're doing bad right now,
No,
Parker.
no.
So what
That's luck.
I guess all I'm getting at is I think Rivian right now has dropped so much in value because someone might want to be in the market to acquire them. And it would serve Apple more than it would serve GM, more than it would serve Ford to be acquired by them. Their branding is definitely on par, on point, and they both have kind of like the same goals. And I think if you already have someone that is claiming, because Rivian, RJ just went on TV, the CEO of Rivian, and said, by the end of the year, we're going to be profitable. Why try to create or recreate the wheel when you already have it there and you can just lease it from someone else, purchase it from someone else? That's why, to me, this is the perfect. And a lot of people are going to say, why not Lucid? Lucid's great. Lucid hasn't figured out their formula for production. So Apple would be buying into the problem that they have right now, which is producing the car at scale and be able to get the numbers that they want. Whereas Rivian's already on that path.
I'm kind of thinking through this right now, but Elon has mentioned that one of the most difficult parts about a car company is the manufacturing process. And if Apple has never manufactured a car,
Yes.
are they really the right company to come in with infinite money effectively to boost Rivian when they don't know the manufacturing process
But
of a
Rivian
car?
does. But Rivian does, and they figured
But they
it out.
don't at scale.
But they
whereas
do.
maybe a big manufacturer,
The
Not
only,
at the scale of Tesla.
Hang on.
Yeah.
But Rivian started selling cars a year ago. A year ago, and they made 57,000 cars. What other electric car company has done that? Lucid has been around for how many years, and they've sold 9,000 cars, dude. What about Bollinger?
Well, but I mean,
But why are you laughing?
when-
Like,
when
this
They
is
had to
all-
redesign the whole thing. 'cause,
when
like, we
Porsche
can't build
came-
it this way. Yeah.
when
This is
Porsche
what
came
Porsche
into the
now.
EV market, I'm sure they sold more than 57,000 Taycans in the first year.
I don't know how many, and that's a different thing. That's a Porsche product, that's a Volkswagen product, and they already have it, and it's their own thing. I don't know the numbers from those guys. We're talking about exclusively companies that came out as an EV company. And the reason why this is important to note, because other than Porsche with Rimac, which is, in my view, a successful partnership and will be a successful player in the world in this space right now, going forward, who else is in that position right now? No one. Outside of China, no one is. The second largest EV company independent is Rivian. Rivians were selling for $28,000 for a $28,000 loss per car that they were moving. It went up to 40 something right now because inflation went up, their cost went up. But the more cars they make, and this is getting into Tesla's scale of production economies, the more cars they build, the cheaper their manufacturing will become, and their cars will become cheaper, and they'll be able to extract bigger margins. The only company outside of Tesla that's independent in the EV world that has figured out how to cut costs is Rivian. Because right now, Lucid, after all those years of production, delivering, and manufacturing, still's losing over $400,000 per unit.
But have they figured out how to cut cost if they're still losing 40 grand per car?
Yes, they're. Do you guys not remember when Tesla came out? I think.
Yeah.
Do you not remember that everyone's like, Tesla's never going to make money because they're always
Burning all the
losing?
money.
Hey,
Yeah.
I thought Fisker, this is hilarious, but I thought Fisker was going to win in the Fisker versus Tesla in 2012.
Karma?
Yeah, this was when they both released. We didn't know anything about either
Oh.
company, and I don't know. I thought it was much sexier and
At the time,
and
because
I
it was
am
like
an idiot.
Had a
more of an eye
mustache.
catcher. Yeah. But the moment that you got into, like, to me, it was clear the moment I got into Tesla that
yes,
there's
that was
no
before
way.
being
Yeah.
in and around either.
I agree with you because at that point I didn't know anything about car manufacturing. I thought Fisker was really the man who promised to be and all that stuff. And then you saw what happened. Go ahead,
Fisker
Tesla.
hating channel.
Tesla has yes. At least this one is my channel. We hate Fisker. Go ahead.
Please don't sue me too.
20,000 units. This past year they sold 40,000 Taycans.
What?
First year, 20,000
One more time. So Porsche
Taycan.
Uh-huh.
Porsche sold 20,000 units
sold 20,000 units year one,
year one. And then this past year they just beat over 40,000.
and this past year, where they were able to make 40,000 vehicles.
Still less than Rivian.
Still less than Rivian. Do you understand why there's so much value in Rivian right now, just floating around that makes no sense whatsoever that they're trading at this price?
This is also the Rivian loving channel.
This is a Rivian over channel.
We-
This one in the driveway, so
if
no wonder.
RJ
right?
was here, we go hard.
I don't know what kind of channel that was.
It's
Salomondrin
and he's
after
like,
dark.
well, I'm getting out of here. Never
Yeah.
seeing you guys again. Please don't use this podcast for anything. Either way.
And the one big Rivian thing is the vans. They are like you're seeing them everywhere. The Amazon delivery
Yeah.
vans. That is a massive contract, and the fact they didn't keep scaling that skateboard architecture for everything else.
But you just mentioned it. To me, is Tesla has many advantages because they're innovative, because they're bringing technology that's proprietary,
proprietary.
proprietary,
10,000 in Amazon vans so far.
10,000
10,000.
Amazon vans. That's a big amount
That's
of
a lot.
fucking
Do you
vans.
think that's how Rivian got Amazon? They said, "Hey, come into my van. I have candy."
That's
And then
probably what they
That's
did.
how the partnership started.
Jeff Bezos was like, hell yeah.
I love candy. Yeah.
I actually know the story because I was told by my friend that started Rivian with that invested in heavy in Rivian at the beginning. That's why I know all these
Is
shit.
this another one of your alter egos?
This I wish, man. I wish. I wish.
Save that for the next podcast.
This is hundreds of millions of dollars this guy put in.
Oh.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. And
From a big company, they have a huge. Like I don't know what you can say about the background of that investor.
no, I can't. I can't talk about this investor, but this is why it led me to believe that they were going to do well because this investor comes from a company that makes cars worldwide, and they kill it. They already know, so that's why production to me for Rivian was going to be good. But jumping into the other side of this is this guy that's investing in it. He's betting 100. I'm sorry.
Punch the
This,
mic.
yeah, it's in my
He's
way.
really
dude.
passionate about
It
what he's about to
absolutely is
say.
in my way. I love Rivian so much. When it comes down to all of it, Rivian is standing in a different place because they also have something that's special, and that's technology development. They have different things that they haven't really released yet that no one has seen in any other car and no one's offering yet.
And they have
I'm
special
not,
owners
hang
like
on.
Alejandro.
And I'm not going to say anything. No. I'm not going to. Fuck you. I'm not going to say anything regarding that because I don't want to spoil anything for what they're doing. But their skateboard platform allows them to build anything they want on it. Anything. Their original product was going to be a sports car.
Really?
Did you not?
I didn't know that either.
know that,
I didn't know that.
So Rivian was going to come out with a sports car,
Yeah.
and then they were like, this is not going to make any sense. Everyone's doing a
Trucks,
sports
SUVs.
car. How can we get into something? Then they said car, but Tesla was already doing it. So while they're editing that, they figure out a way of making a common ground with the skateboard platform for anything that they want to build towards the future so they can do it without having to change what they already produce.
The skateboard thing, that's the modular architecture is common across all the EVs.
Yeah.
GM with their Ultium thing. They just scale how many little modules, throw in a couple of motors, front and back, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing now. You can have a car that's front wheel drive, all wheel drive, or rear wheel drive. Never seen
impressive.
that before.
Yeah,
in
it's
one
crazy.
model. Does Rivian have enough of a differentiating factor though? Their software isn't the best of the best. It's not like Tesla. They haven't gathered the road data for
That's right.
autopilot or whatever. They bricked all of their vehicles and over their update. Remember that?
No, I didn't have that
Oh
problem.
man, they like announced it on Reddit or something. Like there was some sort of over there update that like bricked everybody's Rivian Dash, and it would still drive, but you didn't have speed. And you couldn't see anything.
What?
They
I
fixed
mean,
it,
I use
though.
mine every single day, and I don't know. I didn't
Sell
I didn't see
stock,
that coming.
sell.
No. But
They
either
fixed
way.
it, but I remember seeing that Rivian had bricked all of their like displays.
But again, when we go back to like the Tesla early days, no one remembers all of the problems that they had. No one remembers what everyone was saying. It's kind of like a mirror of what's happening today.
Yeah.
And I do thoroughly and I legitimately believe that not a lot of people learn anything from the past. And this is why things keep repeating themselves and you can catch some of these trends before they blow up because you're like, I already saw this movie. I know how it ends. I'm going in. And I just think Rivian's standing on a different path compared to everyone else. And what they're building, the way that they're building it and their resources are way beyond what any other EV company outside of China has. And this is why I think Apple can be, because you're saying software, you're talking about all these things.
Yeah.
Apple and Rivian can make a beautiful baby together. They really could. And I think that's the easiest way to go because if I'm expanding a business now, so before I used to start businesses, that's for idiots. You buy a business that's going out of business that has the elements that you need that can execute on the way that you do. The difference between my mezcal selling in less than 1,000 stores in Mexico
Not a paid product placement.
or my water, we didn't even mention it. No one's like, people are hearing it, right? Or my water that's selling in 20,000 stores. The difference was in one, I had to start it from the beginning. The other one, I was able to come in and say, I already see everything you have with your distribution. Let me take it over and let me do this and implement new ways of like my big company understanding for your company.
Parker, I'm gonna buy your channel.
Damn!
Hell yeah.
Damn! Buying Parker's channel. That also works for a title. Now, let's finish with some. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is gonna yield another massive tangent. But the other variable with all the EV stuff is whoever gets the next breakthrough for solid state batteries, whether it's the carbon or whatever the battery tech.
But I think you see Tesla's leaning on BYD for batteries, right? And LG and Panasonic, like all these guys make batteries. I think that's gonna be incredible for companies like Enovix or like any of these companies that we just mentioned that are creating those batteries, being able to just license or sell or rent whatever it is to these companies. I personally don't think that one company should take over the whole thing. I think one company can grow and buy one of these whenever they're at the top of their making so that you don't have to focus so much on just the battery aspect on your technology and spend so much money on developing something that's a little bit outside of your scope if you're Tesla. Whereas you let someone grow, prove it, and then once they're there, dude, I have so much cash, let me buy you.
I think everyone's throttling the battery capabilities so they can just incrementally release new stuff. I have this. Do you think I have this feeling that Tesla's capable of 500 miles of range and charging and
I think it's
10 to 80% much
the long-term
quicker.
longevity of the battery that they're protecting for. Yeah.
It
And the
is
safety
that.
factor.
They definitely can do way better right now.
Yeah.
100%. But they're not because of that. Or it could also be the business, by the way. You never know. Because like they said, there's so many ways of making a battery for a phone where you can have a phone that never dies in 30 days. But do they want to release that stops consuming energy? Let's remember that the business of our economy is consuming energy.
Yeah, how are we going to sell these chargers that only work for our proprietary phone?
Energy. That's all they want. Energy. So I think this was a great chat. Thank you so much, guys. But I also, before finishing, I want to jump into Formula One because, Eddie, I know you're into Formula One.
You got to learn. We have to get you properly hooked on
Teach
F1.
me.
Yeah. So the cars go vroom vroom,
They
and
do.
then Max Verstappen wins.
So the season's starting this
pretty
week.
accurate.
Yes, finally.
Officially.
On a
Testing is-
Saturday though, like
I know.
the first 2 races are. Yeah, I got to remember that.
I know it's Bahrain, baby.
Yeah.
So everyone watching, by the way, you're not going to see the race on Sunday. This is on Saturday. Quali's going to be on Friday, and practice is going to be on Thursday.
Yep.
So everything moved the day back just simply because of the times,
Yeah.
the time change. So with all of this going on, and we're about to open this, there's the most dominant team right now in the new era of Formula One is Red Bull, and their principal Christian Horner is in a Christian Horny too. He's in a lot of hot water because
Did you think about that before hearing him say that?
Yeah.
That's
so does
funny.
I saw the thing. I'm like, oh boy, what did you do? Mr.
That's
Gordy?
funny.
I think everyone puts two and two together, right? So for anyone watching and for anyone that doesn't understand what we're talking about, Red Bull's Christian Horner, which is like the CEO of the racing team, if you will. This dude that's not one of my favorite people in the world because of what he does. I respect the shit out of everything that he's done just because I'm a Mercedes fan and I gotta hate him just for that, not for anything else.
Okay.
Dude, man, he's incredible, killer, badass, whatever. Christian is under fire right now and under pressure because Red Bull is conducting an investigation that just finished on him having a weird type of problem with someone that works at Red Bull. They haven't really said exactly what. They say that it's an inappropriate
Inappropriate conduct.
Did they say if it was a male or female?
So it's supposed to be a female, but it's not very clear. So the thing is, the newspaper that's reporting this and everything that's coming out from is from the Netherlands. So the rumor is everywhere that the Verstappens, Jos Verstappen, Max Verstappen's dad, is trying to take over his job, and he wants him out. Remember last year, Dietrich, how do you pronounce it? Dietrich? I would say Dietrich. In Spanish, I say Dietrich. Okay.
Yeah, passed away.
Dietrich passed away.
Yeah.
And when there's someone so important in a structure that dies, there's a vacuum of power.
Things change, yep.
Because everyone wants to be the main guy. It's like the best way of putting it is if the cartel leader dies, the other guys are going to kill each other until there's someone left and they're going to take over the cartel business. Right?
That man is Alejandro.
So
Yeah, why do you have so much experience? Are the rumors true?
Started when he was 5.
I watch a lot of Netflix, Narcos.
Fair.
So when
It's a documentary about your life.
Exactly. Thank you. Jesus Christ. You're not helping anything up in here with all these crazy rumors. So when there's a vacuum of power for that power, then you have Helmut Marko, which is...
When he's racist, he can't even be correctly racist.
He's not. He doesn't even know what
I didn't
race...
hear about any of that
he
stuff.
was talking about how Perez didn't have the mental edge because he was South American. He's
from Mexico.
And also, like, how many Brazilian drivers have been just dominant?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Senna?
all these.
Does that ring a bell? Fittipaldi?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
He's just incorrectly racist.
Like,
And
terrible.
That's wild.
Nobody likes him.
No. But Helmut...
I like his name.
So Helmut
funny.
Marko is the one that calls all the drivers. To me, in my eyes, I thought Helmut was the one that has the eye for the drivers because I've had relationships. I don't want to say anything, but I've had relationships with different drivers where Helmut is the one making the phone calls. Where Helmut
He's
is the
not
one
even part of Red
interested.
Bull Racing, though. He's a parent.
He's a
company
consultant.
still.
Yeah.
It's
He's a
weird.
consultant
It's
for
weird,
them.
'cause he's
But
always
Helmut
there.
is the one that calls all the drivers, my friend. I know that for a fact
Okay.
that he wants to get, right? So last year, they were going to get rid of him because of all the racist stuff. And within Red Bull, there was conflict. And he ended up staying and kind of like making a dickish comment like, even if they want me gone, I'm not going to be gone.
No
And
way.
this year now it's going on Christian. who's the guy below him. But he's not below him. He's the CEO of this
Yeah,
company.
he's the face of Red Bull Racing.
But Helmut is like above consulting for this, if you will, which is a really weird dynamic. But let's go with that. And now they're attacking him. They're going with this whole thing that, and at least these newspapers from the Netherlands, which again might be under the influence of the Verstappen clan, which if you know anything about just Verstappen, what a tremendous pile of shit he is. Unbelievable. Like, it's undeniable.
I nodded my head like I know any idea what you're talking about.
So Max Verstappen's dad,
Uh-huh.
Max Verstappen's dad is the most piece of shit like human you've ever seen. Checo, who's his, listen, this is my opinion. You guys can think we're independent of each other, so don't worry.
I don't
about
know
what I
anything,
say.
so
Okay,
go for it.
So Max Verstappen's dad is on the you know when you win a Grand Prix and you go and the drivers jump into the crowd and everyone hugs him from their team. He's always there. And last year, Checo won 2 races out of the 24. And both times he won, Joss was not happy. And in one of them specifically, I can't remember which one it was, that Checo wins, goes to the stands. He's saying, hugging everyone, and he goes through Verstappen's dad, and Verstappen's dad just stares at him and doesn't give him his hand.
Yeah, that's lame.
He's like, dude, that's your son's teammate.
Yeah.
Your son was second place.
Yeah, I get being disappointed your son didn't win, but be a man. And
But
just,
that's the type of guy that-
Congratulate him.
But that's the type of guy he is. He's willing to show you what a piece of shit he is. Like, he's no filter, which, by the way, in a way,
It's admirable in a sense.
yeah, in a way, I'm like, oh, all right, you're
probably
showing
not the
your
right
true
approach.
colors. Yeah, absolutely. And the rumor is, well, the thing is, they're attacking Christian. They want to get rid of Christian. And the rumor is, probably, just based on the circumstances, Joss wants to take over that job. He wants that job because he doesn't want Max to be competing with anyone else. He just wants Max to be the focus of that team and to be the center of that team for years to come.
Which is wild because he already is.
I know. Like,
make-
what
yeah, okay.
more do you want?
Yeah, like
But he clearly doesn't want Checo winning 2 races because he's mega pissed off every time that happens. And it's ridiculous. And even then, he created some stories about Checo getting fired from Red Bull. He's the one that started that.
all the rumors.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So in a way, to me, is he already looks guilty. I might be wrong. They're trying to get rid of Christian, and they're saying that it's because he had like some sexual stuff with an employee at the
other
factory.
employee, yeah.
Right? That's what they're saying. But the reality is, and also, Christian's married to a Spice Girl, Ginger Spice.
yep.
Yeah, Gary.
Not paprika.
Yeah, not paprika,
Whatever
Ginger.
you said that one time.
He's married to Ginger Spice.
Hey,
They're like
eucalyptus spice.
This
I don't
public
know.
relationship. Ginger Spice, if you will, Gary, stopped following Red Bull publicly on her Instagram. Which, by the way, in sports right now, that's a big, like,
I
that's a
love
big
how,
statement.
like this middle school drama.
It
Amongst,
literally is.
amongst billionaire elites. Like, he unfollowed me. Ah,
It's fucking retarded.
It's wild.
But that's telling you that she's got a tiff against the team itself,
Yeah.
right? Like, she's got something against whatever's going on. Now, we all know that Christian tried to sell the case for 640,000
Euros
pounds.
or whatever.
No,
Yeah,
pounds.
hush money.
Yeah,
Oh,
hush
whatever.
money.
Yeah.
Which that to a lot of people made him jump on another article and say clearly he's guilty.
Yeah.
To me, 640 grand is nothing for the crime and for the amount of money that he's got.
But we don't know what the crime was.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, to me, is not sexual. To me, this is not something serious because 640,000 pounds for Christian Horner is nothing.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like a. Dude,
it seems like it's just to end the lawsuit.
I just want to
make it
get rid
stop.
of this.
Yeah,
I just want to get rid of this.
Settle it.
What is your opinion and your take on it?
I think it might have been a minor transgression,
Yeah.
and they're using that to blow it out of the water.
Yes.
And push him out.
I agree.
Yeah. Like I apparently the investigation has concluded.
Yeah, and he's going to be announced on
tomorrow, Wednesday. They're supposed to release the results, and the rumors are trending that he will be leaving the team. That's just what I saw.
What do you think?
I'm seeing right now. The latest rumors are that and Ford has been the biggest push.
Ford issued a statement. They're like, we are displeased with the lack of transparency and everything.
By the way, I was on a Formula One podcast last night, and we were talking about this, and everyone jumped at me on this. This is what I'm going to tell you. Ford and Jim Farley, the CEO, jumping in this. And you're not going to like this, Eddie. I'm sorry. This fucking good-for-nothing dude that hasn't innovated in anything, anything.
Why won't I like
And
this?
he's just being a fucking tool for Red Bull engine programs, right? Like because Honda's leaving Formula One and creating their engines, and now Red Bull's gonna take over it, and now Ford's gonna come in and give him like their proprietary technology. Yeah, like they're not doing anything without him. Get the fuck out of here.
No, Ford is just the branding sponsorship. It's Red Bull Powertrains doing the whole development.
Thank you so
Labs,
much.
yeah.
Thank you. This
Wait,
is for
but
the
still,
people
why
that
was-
don't
why
understand.
wasn't I gonna like
now,
this?
because I don't know. I feel like you like Ford, and you might jump at me for saying this about Jim Farley. I'm just saying I have opinions, and they're
He's a
strong.
Jim Farley superfan.
And they're strong. Yeah, he's got a shirt underneath it. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, you
Jim
have
Farley-
a Cybertruck tattoo. He has a freaking portrait.
Well, yeah,
that
you have a
looks like the Mona
Cybertruck
Lisa.
tattoo, but not a Rivian tattoo. I would have expected a Rivian tattoo, unless it's your whole back. It's just like the Rivian
Yeah,
headlights.
he can't show where his Rivian tattoo
I
is.
can't show exactly because
Oh.
that's
He
where
showed
it
me.
matters. The headlights are my balls. They look great.
Your balls are really far apart.
They are.
Those are strangely
Long
shaped because
balls.
the Rivian headlights are quite weird.
As you get older,
Rivian headlights look like the Dyson vacuum. Like the Dyson.
They do, the
fan
air
blade.
blades.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all I
you should
see
see
when I
his
see
air
them,
blades.
yeah.
they do. I just think Jim Farley jumping in on that was only for publicity.
Yeah.
Like it just serves me as like, let me get in there and let me just be this is what we do. Let me just jump in there and say something so that people can talk about it. And here we are talking about it because legitimately, who gives a fuck? Like he was saying, we at Ford have had the same principles and values of brand all of these years, and we're not going to bend them for anything.
Well, it's like similar. Do you see what Toto said?
What?
Oh, this is how this investigation and results are treated. I'm paraphrasing. It's like is a reflection of Formula One and how we conduct ourselves as teams.
But by
he
the-
could not be more pleased with this.
But he loves it.
Oh,
he
yeah, yeah,
hates
yeah.
Christian.
Yep.
He also got a title stolen from him. I don't care what you say. He did get a title stolen from him when Lewis won, and basically he was going to win, and Max Verstappen won his third championship.
Yeah.
That what they did was bullshit,
That
and
I
they
do
stole
know.
it. Yeah, they stole it from him.
What race was it at?
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi. I was just trying to.
Oh, you were telling
year-
me. I was going
oh,
to try
is
to
it
guess,
Abu
but
Dhabi
that wasn't what I was going to guess.
20?
So thanks for saying it.
Abu Dhabi 2020. That's when they stole it from him. So yeah, I think Ford jumping in and like contributing to this is nothing but
Silly,
like
yeah.
I need clicks. Let me get the clicks right now, and Jim Farley's all about that. So he's getting his clicks, and I just think everything's gonna be business as usual in Red Bull. Like the Verstappen clan tried to do this, then it's probably not gonna work because again, if Christian wanted to go like just wanted to save himself the trouble and was willing to pay £640,000, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things, that's just like a speed bump on the road.
So you think Christian stays?
I think Christian stays.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think there's a high chance that he is going to get just pushed out for whether correctly, fairly, or unfairly. Just the way society works these days, reputation and cancel culture and everything. Like
But I think that's what they're trying.
yeah,
I
they're
just don't
trying.
think that's
and
gonna
it's
work.
Just,
Okay, I mean,
yeah,
and listen,
that's my thought.
We don't
that's
know.
what I'm, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
we don't
expecting
know.
to see tomorrow.
Okay.
and it's going to be shitty. Like I don't want to see that because I don't like.
What's
him.
going to happen to Red Bull without Christian?
It depends if Adrian Newey stays.
What happens tomorrow?
Tomorrow's when they
Allegedly,
announce
the investigation results are
Yeah.
announced tomorrow.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
we'll say
okay.
yes or no,
So,
whatever. They
so
concluded
we could sound
Yeah.
prior to
pretty
the race.
uninformed.
Forget about
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, this podcast
Like,
is going to
I
drop
know
after
Adrian Newey is a big component of it. Adrian Newey, you know who Adrian Newey is.
that. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Adrian
Aero
Newey,
god.
for anyone, he's
Yeah.
the god of design of
Yeah.
of aero in Formula One, and he did IndyCar, Indy Champs, all that stuff. He's incredible. So, what happens if Christian leaves? And don't tell me whatever happens with Newey. That's an easy cup out. I just think dude. You can get Gunther Steiner or Christian Horner. Who do you want to have?
Horner.
So this is not an insignificant guy leaving, and just because Adrian Newey's going to stay there, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Are you going to hire Omar Safner, Safnauer?
No.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This is an
yeah.
important piece of
I
it.
like that name, Gunther Steiner. Never
Yeah.
heard that before.
He's
Is
the
he-
guy
is he
that says,
German?
for fuck's sake, the German
I'm
guy.
gonna, what was the quote? He's like, if we win, I'm gonna fuck the whole paddock.
No way.
Yeah,
He
he's
meant to
nuts.
say hug or something like that.
That
but
is
his accent, yeah.
unreal.
People
He's
love
no-
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
What a
people
freaking-
love him.
legend.
Yeah.
He's but Haas is atrocious.
Do you not think Red Bull's season would be compromised if he leaves?
Not this season, long term. They may, with the regulation change and the new power plant stuff, maybe without his leadership.
I would say
this season, the car's developed.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
going to be, no, they're
Listen,
going to.
Ferrari had a great car, and all those clowns kept making mistake over mistake for how long? No? They even drove...
Box, no, stay out. Poor Leclerc.
Think about or Carlos Sainz, stop inventing, guys. Come on, stop inventing right now.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm getting at. You need that type of stability in an organization like Red Bull. And if Horner leaves right now, which by the way, that'd be incredible for my Mercedes team or for anybody else on the grid, I don't think Red Bull can be as dominant without Christian as they are right now. I think we're underplaying how important that dude is. As much as I hate him because he's my rival, you got to give him the respect that he deserves. And now with this, I want to jump into predictions for the race based on testing. Who do you what's going to be the podium this weekend and why?
Verstappen, just because allegedly they were running like high fuel, low power, and they were still just way ahead. And that car just, I mean, they did so much in the offseason.
Yeah.
It's not just the like couple tweaks from last year. Like RB20 is totally different. Yeah, so I think, Verstappen's going to, we saw Alonso's quote, right? Like after testing, it was, I think 19 drivers have realized we're not going to be world champion again. So it's going to be Verstappen. I think the Ferrari looked really strong from the testing. Like they got their stuff together.
Give me your 1, 2, 3.
Verstappen, Leclerc, and I want to see, I got Oscar.
What? In McLaren?
That's just
You're a
'cause
McLaren fanboy, aren't
yeah,
you?
Yeah, I gotta love Oscar, right?
All right.
Yeah. No, realistically, it may be okay. All right, fine. Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz. The Ferrari did look really strong.
Oh, wow. You're throwing the other Red Bull in the trash? You clearly read the news.
He was not doing so hot.
At the beginning of every year that he's raced at Red Bull, he's winning 1-1 with Verstappen up until Monaco.
And then he just goes down. Yeah.
Because the car is built in the middle, then they start developing towards Verstappen's liking, and then it gets away from him. Yes. That's why. So right now, you're starting again. You're putting Checo outside of the podium.
Big part's mental game. I think Max broke him last year.
I don't think it was Max, but okay.
What?
I don't think it was Max, but
Max,
okay.
What do you think? But just
no.
He just didn't have the mental edge. He would just struggle for qualifying. He just couldn't execute the way he used to be able to the first half of the season.
So we're talking about Checo, which is Max's driving teammate. So the thing is, when you make something, if I make shoes, let's say that you're a sprinter, you're Usain Bolt, and I make you special shoes.
Chinese cousin. Yeah.
You outrun me a couple times.
And I make you, and you tell me what you think of this analogy, Parker. I make Eddie special shoes to run the 100-meter dash that go along with his stride, with his height, his foot, everything. Like tailor-made to the T with materials that no one else has. And then I give you those shoes. Do you think you're going to be able to run as fast as he is with Eddie's shoes on?
A step and a half and my feet are out of the shoes and I'm running barefoot.
And that's
you
the
seen
thing.
his shoes?
And that's the thing with Red Bull. They're developing this car so much towards Max Verstappen likeness, which is a pointy as fuck car, that is hard to drive it. And I think last year,
truly talented drivers can adapt to the cars.
How's Albon doing? Do you like Albon?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Wait.
What? Because he's Asian?
Well, no, because he's a good driver. Well, so I'll take that. I'll take that as an answer. Thank you. Albon was absolutely decimated by Max Verstappen, mentally, physically, everything.
Reinvented himself, though.
And then he went to exactly.
Yeah.
And he came
carrying
back,
that team,
and now you're seeing the dude do what he does. Checo has beaten all of his teammates except for Button when he was in McLaren year one. That's the only one. All of the other ones he's taken care of, except Max Verstappen, which you understand why. Then you see Checo wins one race at the beginning of the season, and his dad wants to murder him, and then he releases all these articles negatively speaking about him. What I'm telling you is that car just and why Max was able to take 20 seconds on everyone on each race is because that car was built to make Max Verstappen better. Now, Max Verstappen is in his Michael Jordan era. Like, to me, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the greatest ever. But that also has to do with the symbiosis that he's built with this car. And when you build someone a car tailor-made to their liking, and they like a front pointy car rather than a car that you can feel on the rear, You're giving me something completely different that it's not making me feel safe when I drive.
Still totally valid point, but I still think it comes on the driver because Ricardo in his
Ricardo
tire
drives-
test, he was close to Max's time.
Because Ricardo likes a pointy car. He drives the same style car that Max.
Okay.
I understand. That I understand. That's like the illegitimate way that everyone's comparing Ricardo right now, and saying he should be the number 2 driver. No. Ricardo broke with Verstappen being the lead guy of the team, and
Ricardo
that's
couldn't even
done.
keep up with Lando.
So now, just to finish this, and then we'll jump into you if you want to give your top 3. You do. Like if you do,
Okay, I'll give my
If
top
you-
three.
I want to
you
hear
know,
your
why
top
not?
3 too. Yeah,
So you're saying Verstappen, Leclerc, and then Sainz.
yeah. Ferrari looked strong.
Okay, Mr. Bean, Enzo Ferrari,
Yes.
and Ronald McDonald.
That's close.
That's the time I think
That's
are
gonna
those,
be
are those
a-
drivers.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a tight one.
No, I would say, okay, legitimate guess. I think Max Verstappen, number
Yeah,
1.
Easy.
Maybe Lewis, number 3.
Okay.
And then 2.
That's a risky one because Mercedes hasn't figured out their car yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their front suspension adjustable thingy. That's
Yeah. Maybe Leclerc.
On second?
Yeah.
Okay. Verstappen, Leclerc, and then Hamilton.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I'd love to see Lewis on the podium. I'll say that. I'll say this. 1-2 Red Bull. Verstappen, Checo. There's no doubt. Because once again, I'm just copying what happened in the last 3 years. They both have a neutral car. Checo's going to do great. Not Verstappen great. He's going to do well. So I'm going to go Verstappen, Checo. And in third place, I'm going to put Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz won the only race last year that
Correct.
no other driver outside of a Red Bull team won.
Yes.
Okay, the only one.
Yep.
And he did it with Charles Leclerc in the same team. Carlos is a strong driver. I think he's one of the most underrated drivers. And now he looks like I'm just completely racist against anyone that's not a
Yeah.
Latin speaker.
Do you speak Spanish? Yes, I
Yes,
love
I
you.
think that guy
Yeah,
is
where's Alonso? Huh?
Hey, but you're a big Hamilton fan.
I am a Hamilton. Yeah. Sadly, he's
Help me
moving
out.
to
He
Ferrari.
just likes the easy people who win.
Yeah.
Wow. I like champions. I like pedigree, baby. I like winners.
Was Sainz doing really good in the Vegas race?
Who?
Was that him?
Science? Yeah.
Sainz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just got that. He was the one last. No,
No,
Leclerc
it was
last
Charles.
second pass gone.
He's the
That
one.
was
Charles is the one
wild.
that
That
took
was
Checo.
nuts.
Yeah. That was an incredible. Yeah, that was a phenomenal race. So there you have
Actually,
it.
wait, no, the Ferraris are going to make it. They drain covers got it out for them.
Yeah.
They're taken out.
New tactic.
Oh man.
McLaren just designs the rain covers on.
I'll say this, and I'll throw in a crazy statement about it, and then I want you to throw a crazy one after me.
All right.
I think Piastri will be a legend and not Norris.
I agree. Oscar is freaking awesome. I'm biased, obviously.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, Oscar's rookie. All right, I'm gonna be a little Oscar fanboy right now because
Same.
Yeah.
I'm a big fanboy of Oscar, and my boy's the third driver at fucking McLaren.
Oh, Pato's the
Yeah.
reserve now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar won F4, F3, F2 sequentially.
Year
Couldn't
one.
get the seat because the whole Alpine BS and whatever.
Yep.
And then came in and is just caught up to the car, up to speed, handles himself well, can take the pressure, and he has the talent. He has
The eyes,
serious
dude.
talent. Yeah.
This dude has Senna's eyes, like not the eyes, but the look. There's something behind those eyes. I've never seen. Verstappen also has it, but Piastri's the only other one that I've seen at that level, and it's unbelievable. To me, I was happy that they bumped him up at first because I was like, oh, no one knows who this guy is. He's probably gonna suck.
Yeah.
And then I saw the first few races. On the third race, I was like, this guy's gonna be a
Yeah.
legend. It's actually gonna be Lando, the one leaving the McLaren at some point.
He was really starting to put pressure on Lando, but I think towards the second half, third of the season, Lando's experience started to tell a little bit. So
But
he was
that
starting to-
that was year one, dude.
yeah,
This
for
is
a
year
rookie
2.
season, oh my god, it
This
was
is year
amazing
2.
watching Oscar. Yeah.
You know what I think? I think I should have brought a diaper because I really have to pee.
Let's go. I mean, we're done. Is there anything you guys want to add?
I want to keep talking. Are we still doing more?
Yeah, we are.
I could sit here and talk F1 and cars for the
And
rest
we
of the
will.
day.
And
yeah.
we will.
How far in are we? I mean, I'll just.
Hour
I'll
and
just pop
24.
off the-
man, we've
No,
been
no,
going
we're
for
done.
a while.
We're done. Hour
you
and
sure?
24. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. So we can jump onto yours. So this was 2 dudes, 1 car, 1 guy in the soft seat Thank you, Eddie, so much for coming. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube and everywhere else. Go listen to us on Apple, on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Cast, everywhere. Amazon, you name it. On your mom's backyard, we're there. See you guys next week.
Mom's backyard.
I don't know.